In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Allen Iverson's crossover, what made it so special so that he broke so many ankles, and how you can also break ankles just like Iverson. Let's get down and let's check him out. So what made Iverson so great? What was able to shift these defenders so much? Well, first off, when he did a cross, you are allowed to bring at least 2/3 of your hand to the bottom half of the ball. You need to keep at least half of your hand above half of the ball. From there, that will allow you to get that ball super wide away from your body. This is very, very important. The wider you get your crossovers, the better. That's going to really shift that player because they're going to think that you're going to be driving towards, in this case, the left side. However, another thing that Iverson did was this jab or a little bit of a hop towards that direction as to where he's faking before he crosses that ball back over, and he's also getting his shoulders below his defender's shoulders. That is going to be allowing him to be much quicker and more agile to get to the rim. Other times when he's about to set up a crossover, here he had his whole body essentially facing towards that direction he was going, but then on his inside foot he would pivot and cross over that ball super quickly, making sure that his hips and shoulders were facing the direction as to where he wants to go next. Obviously, he did this when, in this case, Derek Fisher turned his shoulders essentially, or at least crossed his feet, as we see right here. As soon as that happened, Iverson made that cross, and he was able to get essentially behind that defender so that the defender had to then turn around and was out of position. And then he also had a very nasty snatchback. As we can see here, he was able to really create a lot of separation between himself and his defender so that he could get off that shot. However, how did this crossover happen? Well, first off, we're going to forget about the fact that he's holding the defender's hand. That may have helped, but generally is a foul, so you don't want to do that. However, as soon as he got that defender's shoulders facing the rim, the direction that he was going, he's able to stay balanced with his shoulders over his knees, over his toes, and he's then able to do that quick snatchback, got lower than his defender once again. That is super important because this lowers your center of balance, and then he's able to cross over, and then when he does that, he does a little bit of a hop with his feet. This is important. That hop right there is extremely important. The reason being is now he can hop to the point where he likes to have his feet set so that he can pull up for that shot. Now this next clip is a perfect example as to how you can set up your crosses and what to look for when you're setting up your crosses. Here he's going against MJ. He's able to get that mid-range shot off. But when we rewind and we then look at this clip again, what is Iverson doing? Well, right now, MJ has his hand down for the crossover. He has his palm facing up so that he can swipe that ball. He is now essentially jamming Iverson, even though they're not very close. He is really trying to force Iverson towards this left side into a help defender, and obviously into one of the best defenders of all time. And then what we see here is Iverson obviously doesn't want to go into a set of crazy great defenders. He wants to go and pull up for either a mid-range or go against some little bit of a weaker defender. Obviously, these three guys were fantastic defenders, and MJ was really good himself. So what does Iverson do? He does a quick killer crossover that, again, that little bit of a hop brings that ball super wide, gets MJ to slightly move over to that side. However, MJ was able to recover, and now MJ's playing him straight up. He doesn't want to be out of position against Iverson. Well, Iverson does that same killer crossover once again, because usually the second time you're gonna generally go, and when that happens, we see MJ reach in, try to swipe that ball. It didn't work. And then guess what? Right after that cross, he pulls up for his shot. He doesn't take another dribble. He just does that quick crossover, pulls up left, right, and he goes up for his shot. The reason why is if he was to take another dribble, so many younger players will take another dribble there to pull up here. And when that happens, if you take an extra dribble, that's going to allow MJ to recover and block or at least contest your shot much better. But if you don't do that second dribble after that crossover, or technically first dribble after the crossover, you're going to be able to get your shot off much faster. So what I'm trying to say is what to look for on this second cross. What we see right here on that second cross is when MJ makes that reach. And then when we see the ankles right here, totally have them facing away from where you're going, that's when you either need to drive or pull up for a shot. This is what you look for versus this first one where he is still essentially in position to guard you. His hips are pretty well in line with you still, and his ankles haven't crossed or really still technically facing Iverson. Look where he's looking right now. He is making sure that Michael Jordan is out of position. He wasn't on that first crossover. On the second one, he was well out of position. Hips, shoulders, even ankles and knees were out of position. He reached in, you reach, I teach, and from there, Iverson was able to get that shot off. This is what you look for. This is what you don't want to see right there. You see this, don't pull up for a shot. You see this, where they're out of position, that's when you pull for a shot. Another great example is right here. Iverson does that same crossover here without that hop. All he did was just a quick behind the back dribble, gets that ball super wide once again, gets the defender down onto his heels. Again, really watching your whole defender. You don't want to be watching their shoulders. You don't want to be just watching their waist or their ankles. You want to be able to see the entire defender and see what they are doing. Are they balanced? Clearly he is not. And from there, when they are not balanced, their shoulders are not over their knees, over their toes, that means that you could do a lot of damage to them. You could break their ankles. If you cross over and they try to reach down and try to grab that ball from you, you need to drive because they are no longer in position. They are now shoulders well past their knees, and you can get past them extremely easily. This is another great example right here where he crosses over and gets the shoulders, the hips, even the feet pointing away from the direction as to where Iverson wants to go. You can do simple fakes. This is just a quick jab cross, really. To be honest with you, this is a very simple move to do. And if you can do that crossover fast enough and have the ability to attack, get your shoulders below theirs, and you don't even need to do another dribble afterwards, because guess what? After that cross, he hasn't gathered that ball yet. Technically, he gathers the ball on his right foot, which means that he can go left, right, and then he goes up with his left hand in the middle of the rim. He stays away from this defender because this defender was going to come along baseline underneath the basket, which is a mistake. And then he goes up with his left hand in front of the rim because there is nobody there to protect the rim. Being able to recognize the defender and watching your defender and seeing what they're doing. Are their hips facing away from where you want to go? Are their shoulders facing away from where you want to go? Are their feet? Look at the whole defender as a whole, and that is going to allow you to break a ton of ankles. I hope that this video has helped you. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.